भद्रं कर्णे विशृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसं विषेम देवहितं यदायुः। संपूर्ण व्याख्यानम् अहं संस्कृत भाषायां न कर्तुम् शक्नोमि, तत् क्षम्यताम्। The camp which you are for the last 2 days and tomorrow morning, you are immersed in it, and that is one of the wonderful things which you are doing in your life. It's not only the camp, but pursuing the Sanskrit language, which is really speaking, language always impacts our culture, all our traditions, and all the philosophical aspects and concepts. They are all connected to the language which we speak. Sanskrit for last thousands of years has impacted us, our forefathers. And no matter from where you come in India or here, doesn't matter where you come from, I think that is a very connecting type of what you call a thing which connects us together. The language does that, okay? And Sanskrit does that more, because it doesn't matter where you come from, south, north, east, west, doesn't matter. Because if you look at Sanskrit, most of our languages, the Indian languages, are derived from Sanskrit. And the 2500 years ago, the Pali and Ardhamagadi, which were the sort of Prakrita languages at that time, they were accepted by the Buddhism and Jainism as their main languages. And then from then onwards, we have got all the regional languages, and most of the North Indian languages are derived from Sanskrit. Although the development of the southern languages was independent, still, if you look at the number of the vocabulary, the words, there are 50% or more there too. And from that point of view, concepts and religious, philosophical, most of the things which we do every day, they are coming from the Sanskrit language. When we are looking at language, its capacity is tremendous. And if you have not seen it, some of you might have seen it. This in about 16th century, there was a poet called Surya Kavi, this poet. And this poet had, because of the Sanskrit language, he had done a marvelous job which no other language can do it. No other language. Because of the sculpturing nature of Sanskrit. What he did, he composed what he called Rama Krishna Kavyam. This is called Rama Krishna Kavyam. There are 36 verses, full verses in this. Have anybody seen this one? No. Huh?
I've heard of it.
Avashya Sangrahaniya. You should have this book. Because 36 verses are there, and if you read the verse from left to right, that is the biography of Sri Rama. If you did the same thing from right to left, that is the word to word, that becomes the biography of Sri Krishna. I mean, it is impossible by any. This is a sort of palindromic, but in English, if you want to have one sentence of it, becomes very difficult. And not only that, this Kavi was I think he was possibly an engineer, so he just constructed it correctly. That when there was a Putana Avadha, there is a Tratika Avadha in the same sandas. I mean, it is impossible to believe how the language can do it. And what you are learning, Sanskrit language, it's a miracle. It's a miraculous language. Bhasha asu mukhya madhura divya girvana bharati. This girvana bharati is divya, divine. And it is girvana. Girvana, the word comes from Deva Bhasha. It is a Deva Bhasha. And this Girvana Bharati, Tasmad bi kavyam madhuram, tasmad api subhashitam. So, these sort of things are possible only with Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the only language which can do it. And if anybody wants to refer to this book afterwards. NASA started conducting research in 70s, and in 70s they wanted to make sure that natural language and the what you call AI, artificial intelligence languages, is there any possibility of utilization of a natural language for AI business, for all the computerizations and everything else? They couldn't find it, and they came to the conclusion that Sanskrit is the only language which it can do it. You don't have to have AI as a separate language if you adapt Sanskrit for AI instead of this one. That natural language could be Sanskrit. And Dr. Briggs of NASA, he has done a very nice, very wonderful studies on this thing. And how karikas, that is vibhakti and all the things which we do, how the karikas become very specific with respect to the karika means action orientation. Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami. And these actions, how they can be utilized correctly with respect to AI. And he comes to the conclusion in his one of the articles that he doesn't understand why there was a software without having a hardware. What was the reason why all our rishis, and Panini especially, came up with this particular language as a software language, because it is a software language. If you look at the Panini Sutras, you will find that it is nothing but the computer language that way. And how they came up with it, but there was no hardware to go with it. I doubt there must be some hardware too. And when we look at the Mahabharata and Ramayana, and when these astras, weaponaries, which were used, Shastra is the one which is in the hand, and Astra is the one which is the rocketry. And so how the rocketry and all those things which are described with respect to Brahmastra and everything, I think there was hardware also to go with it. Mantras were software and these other words are hardware. So how the language could be very powerful with respect to. When it comes to Vedic languages, Vedic Sanskrit, we have got what you call Arsha Prayog. Arsha, the word, comes from Rishi. Rishi is Arsha. Anything which is regarded or connected with Rishis, that is the Arsha. And that Arsha, this one language, a little different from, because if you start studying and afterwards you all are going to study the Upanishads, definitely, I'm sure about it. You are not going to stop here. You are going to do it. And when you start doing it, you will find that language becomes so wonderful. Because what you are learning just now, it will be very useful. Slowly you have to go from the spoken languages to Gita, which is about 4,000, 5,000 years, and then to the Upanishads and to Vedas. I think it is what you call prati prasava. You are going, like salmon, you are going to swim against the current, right? But currently, what you are doing is wonderful. Okay, that is the next one, next step, because what you are learning is going to be used for that. Because all our cultural, all our these things. That's why the one which you are doing it just now could be used for number one, subhashitas. Okay? Because subhashitas are the simple ones, very wonderful. Subhashitena gitena yuvaninaancha leelaya manona bhidyate yasya sa yogi athva pashu. He is the person who is, after listening to subhashitas, his mind does not become, a little agitated or excited. He must be yogi or pashu, because there is no in between. So subhashitas are so. And the another thing which wonderful about subhashitas, there are so many good things, and I'm just going to give you one or two examples of it, which are very interesting. There is in Subhashitas, there is what you call Antaralapaha. What is that called? Antaralapaha. And that Antaralapaha, this is a Subhashit which comes, that it gives you a question and answer. In the same Subhashita, you get question and answer. The question is, a statement is made. A statement is made. And statement is, Kunti Suto Ravana Kumbhakarnaha. What it is?